In the days following September 11th, Rudy Giuliani became a global symbol of effective leadership. His response was immediate, visible, and unwavering. The chaos at Ground Zero demanded a specific tool, an authoritative, commanding style. Giuliani's instinct to take charge and demand immediate compliance provided the structure needed to manage a literal catastrophe. But this same rigidity was failing him just weeks before the attacks. In peacetime, New Yorkers had grown weary of his confrontational approach, and his approval ratings had dropped below 40%. Former President Jimmy Carter faced a similar disconnect. He rose to power on a promise of moral certitude, yet that same unyielding character made it difficult for him to adapt when the national mood shifted, and the public required a different kind of executive energy. These examples highlight a dangerous trap. A leader who relies on a single fixed style becomes vulnerable the moment their environment changes. Success in one scenario does not guarantee effectiveness in the next. In 1915, Sir Ernest Shackleton's expedition ship, the Endurance, was trapped in the Antarctic ice. For nearly 2 years, his crew was stranded in one of the most hostile environments on Earth. Shackleton ensured every man survived by constantly cycling his leadership style to match the hourly needs of the crew. He enforced strict military-style routines to prevent lethargy, then switched to an empathetic, relating approach to settle personal disputes, and finally became a decisive commander when it was time to launch the lifeboats. Modern business environments share this unpredictability. A stable market can freeze into a crisis or melt into a merger without warning. And navigating these shifts requires a toolkit of distinct leadership dimensions rather than a single specialty. Lasting effectiveness depends on a leader's ability to read these changes and move fluidly between different ways of leading. This toolkit has 5 dimensions. Commanding seeks immediate compliance for fast results. Visioning communicates a clear picture of a worthwhile future. Enrolling seeks democratic input for team buy-in. Relating builds harmony. Finally, coaching develops individual potential. Having these tools is only half the battle. If a leader misreads their environment, they might apply a commanding approach to a team needing coaching, leading to resentment and turnover. Our perceptual filters are a problem. Our brains interpret sensory impressions based on expectations rather than reality. For example, most people read "a bird in the bush" here and completely miss the duplicate word "the." Assumptions distort the reality of our business context. Identifying these internal biases is a prerequisite for accurate diagnosis. Leaders must account for their own distorted view before determining which dimension their team actually needs. Take a fast-paced business context. These are environments defined by high speed, urgent meetings, and intense, quick, demanding conversations. In this setting, a leader needs visioning to maintain focus amidst the motion, and relating to monitor the team's stress levels and prevent burnout. Contrast this with a civil war context. Here, an organization is entirely paralyzed by overt hostility and deeply feuding camps. A leader in this situation must first deploy commanding tactics to immediately stop the destructive behaviors and halt the internal bleeding. Only after the fighting stops can the leader switch to relating to mediate the underlying rifts and rebuild the communication networks. The environment dictates the approach. Success depends on accurately diagnosing the context before taking action. This creates a challenge. What happens when the context requires you to be commanding, but your natural personality is quiet and geared toward relating? Traditional training often suggests fixing your weaknesses through a total personality overhaul. This approach is usually exhausting and yields minimal results. The Archimedes principle offers a more efficient alternative: the law of leverage, where small effort moves massive weight. In leadership, your natural strength is the effort applied. The 5D dimension is the lever, and that heavy rock is the organizational challenge. For example, a leader who is naturally empathetic shouldn't try to fake aggressive dominance when a situation requires them to take command. Instead, they can use their natural empathy to understand exactly what the team fears. By speaking directly to those fears with clarity and decisiveness, they achieve a commanding result using their inherent relational strengths. Mastering 5D leadership means constantly re-diagnosing the environment and realigning your natural strengths to match. This leverage allows you to resolve complex organizational challenges using the traits you already possess.